No pipeline running to this spot. No well. No rain in 4 days. But look at this. Water slowly dripping into a trough like it's been going all night. Because it has. That right, there is drinking water collected straight from the air. The whole setup cost me $12 to put together. This isn't some new discovery I'm about to share with you. Far from it. This technology has been around for well over a century. Dew collectors, fog nets, communities in coastal Chile, mountain villages in Morocco, rural parts of Ethiopia, places where there's no power grid and the groundwater is long gone, have been using versions of this for a long time. The reason it never went mainstream is almost funny when you think about it. It's too cheap and it works too well. Nobody can turn a profit selling it to you. So here at Hidden Trail Camping, let's just build the thing. You've actually seen this principle work your entire life. You just never thought about it that way. Moisture beading on a cold drink. Dew coating the grass every morning before the heat rolls in. A spider web doing naturally what a $3,000 commercial atmospheric water machine tries to copy with motors and electricity. Right now, wherever you're sitting, the air around you is loaded with water. You just can't see it. It's suspended there, waiting to make contact with something cool enough to release it. Here's the science in plain terms. There's a temperature threshold called the dew point. The moment air touches a surface that's at or below that threshold, the water vapor in it can't stay vapor anymore. It shifts to liquid. It condenses. It drips. What you're building is simply a wide surface for that process to happen on. Something big enough, angled into the breeze, tilted so gravity walks every droplet straight down into a container. Zero moving parts. Zero electricity. Zero upkeep. You assemble it before you go to sleep, and it does its job through the night. One more thing before we build. The atmosphere is holding roughly 37 million billion gallons of fresh water at any given moment. More than all the rivers on the planet, just floating overhead, and almost no one is tapping into it. That's what this whole project is about. All right, here's everything you need. And I mean everything. Shade cloth mesh, 6 by 6 feet. Garden center, hardware store, doesn't matter. Around $5. Go with a tighter weave, something closer to a window screen than an open net. The mesh is carrying the whole load here, so don't go cheap on it. For lengths of 1-inch PVC pipe for the frame, $2, or free if you got scrap lying around. Zip ties, check your junk drawer. A section of plastic rain gutter for the collection trough, $3 to $4 at the hardware store. A few bricks or rocks to hold the angle. Grand total, $10 to $14. Got zip ties and bricks already? You're looking at $8. No special tools needed except something to cut PVC, and most hardware stores will make that cut for you right there at the counter. Start with the frame. For pieces of PVC forming a rectangle, roughly 4 feet tall and 3 feet across. This doesn't need to be pretty or precise. It just needs to stay upright in a breeze. Zip tie the corners together and move on. It'll hold. Lay the mesh over the frame and pull it firm. No slack anywhere. Zip tie it down every 6 inches around every edge. Picture how tight a drumhead is. That's exactly what you're going for. Any sag in the mesh creates a pocket where water sits and stagnates instead of rolling off. Tight mesh means clean runoff and better collection every single time. The number one mistake first-timers make is lying this thing flat on the ground. Flat is wrong. Water pools on top. The sun comes up, it all evaporates, and you have nothing to show for the night. Prop it at an angle, somewhere between 15 and 30 degrees, like you've leaned it gently against something solid. At that tilt, every droplet that forms rolls itself down to the bottom edge and falls straight into your trough without any help from you. Slide the gutter section under that bottom edge to catch the drip. If you want to feed a tube from the trough into a separate storage container, go ahead, but you'll see this working on your very first night without it. Placement is where a lot of people leave yield on the table. Point the face of your collector into the wind, directly into it. You need air flowing through the mesh, not skating past the sides. Spend a minute at dusk figuring out where the breeze is coming from at your location. That direction gets the front of the frame. Raise it off the ground even slightly. A foot is enough. Ground level air tends to be warmer and drier, so getting up a bit puts you in better air. In position, it's somewhere the morning sun won't hit it early. You want hours of nighttime collection sitting in that trough when you walk out at sunrise, not already evaporated. Sunset to sunrise. Set it, sleep, collect. That's the whole system. The overnight process is pure physics. Temperature falls, the mesh surface cools with it. Air passing through gives up its moisture the moment it contacts a surface at or below the dew point. Tiny droplets form. They bump into neighboring droplets, merge, grow heavy, and gravity takes them down into the trough. You wake up to water that came from nothing but air. First night, I ran mine. Nothing special about the conditions. Mid-50s, normal humidity, no fog, no rain. I got a little over half a liter. Modest, sure, but those were the most average conditions possible. In places with real humidity, coastal zones, river valleys, anywhere morning fog is common. People are pulling 1 to 2 liters or more from a setup this size overnight. Push the mesh to 10 by 10 feet, and now you're producing serious volume from something you assembled in one afternoon with a single hardware store run. The math works out to roughly 2 liters per person per day for drinking water. Get the size and climate right, and this setup covers a family's drinking water entirely. Straight from the atmosphere, no infrastructure, no monthly bill, no permission required from anyone. Now, can you drink it? Yes, with a little prep. Atmospheric water starts out in pretty good shape, actually. It hasn't been in contact with soil, pipes, or surface runoff, so a lot of the things that contaminate regular water aren't in the picture. Over time, though, the mesh can collect dust and particulates, and in areas with heavy traffic or nearby industry, there may be trace pollutants worth filtering out. Here's the filter, and it costs $3. Grab a plastic bottle, cut off the bottom, flip it so the cap end faces down, starting at the neck and layering upward. Cotton, then activated charcoal from an aquarium supply store, then fine sand, then another layer of cotton at the top. Pour your collected water in from the open top. It drips out through the neck into a clean container. Done. Particulates caught, chemical traces absorbed, 30 extra seconds added to your morning. If you want absolute certainty on top of that, boil it, or 1 drop of plain unscented bleach per liter, wait half an hour, and it meets the same standard as treated tap water. Better, depending on your local supply. $12. One afternoon. Clean water from air. What I keep coming back to is how ancient this actually is. The Inca civilization engineered stone formations specifically to pull water from mountain fog. Fog nets have been a way of life in the Canary Islands for generations. Archaeologists studying Bronze Age sites in the Negev Desert now believe certain stone structures were built to collect dew, not to store water, but to generate it. Then running water arrived in homes, municipal systems spread, and this entire body of knowledge just got quietly set aside. No one needed it anymore, so no one passed it on. $12 brings it back. Here at Hidden Trail Camping, I don't know what drew you to this video. Maybe you're building out a preparedness plan. Maybe you're already living off-grid and looking for ways to close the gaps. Maybe you just stumbled here at midnight because you were curious and this caught your eye. Doesn't matter which one. The build is the same, and it works just the same either way. Now you've got it. Take care out there. See you in the next one.